Greetings everyone, MK Mueller here again with you, the author of 8 to Great. And I'm looking forward to talking with you today about the first big change you have to make. Now, if your life is going perfectly, no change needed. But for the rest of us whose lives aren't going perfectly or just as beautifully as they could be, let's take a look at that very first step. And I want to start with the story of Dorothy. I love everything about The Wizard of Oz, but we're going to go to the old version of Dorothy, not the new movie. And the old version, she's standing there, and here is this yellow brick road that goes in a spiral. Now, don't you kind of want to tell her, just cut across? You don't need to do all that, but actually we do, see. And I really think there's a huge story to how that was created, because when we're starting off on a new journey to become our truer selves, to step into our power, to step into our knowing, to step into our success or our love life or whatever that step is that you're ready to make, it's going to be tiny baby steps. And at first they're going to feel kind of slow. But this one today, actually, I'm going to give you 8 examples of this very first step. And believe me, you want to stay here for the entire video, because the 8th one is probably the one you use the most and will get the most reward from. But when you make this little change, and here's the good news, it's not changing your weight. It's not changing your bank account. It's not changing your wardrobe or your marriage. No, 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 no. No, this is something that literally you can change, and it will start in the next hour. I guarantee you. You're doing this thing that you need to change every hour. So, you ready? Okay, here we go. The first big change that you have to make in order to get where you want to go is your self-talk. And let's review why that is. The brain is a computer. It cannot take a joke. So when we tell it, I'm bad at math, surely enough, it shuts down. I mean, the brain is a computer that puts AI to shame. It just shuts down the part of our brain that does math and says, oh, no, no, we've been instructed. Again, what we don't realize is this small change has such a big reward. But there are 8 phrases that you use all the time that need to be replaced. And I'm not just going to tell you what not to say. I'm going to give you a replacement phrase. And let's be honest. For a while you're going to go, hey, I don't know phrase. Oh yeah, that one. Okay. And people will start to notice, and they'll go, what? And go, I'm just trying to retrain my brain. That's a good phrase I use. I'm just trying to retrain, oh, sorry. Ooh, try is one of the words we're not going to use. See? Do you see how simple it is to do that? I am simply retraining my brain. That's what we say with all confidence in the world. I am retraining my brain. So I, too, am a student of this wonderful self-talk change. And I'll probably never get it perfectly, but I'm getting better and better. There's a self-talk for you. All right, so we've got these 8 phrases. Are you ready for the first one? We're going to replace I am so negative feeling with I'm feeling some of that right now. All right, let me give you an example. I am so exhausted. Listen to what we're telling our brain. We're not just saying I feel exhausted. We are saying we are exhaustion. That is my middle name. I don't even want to say it. I am MK Mueller. Really, it's incredible how often we do this and how much better you're going to feel once you stop. So catch yourself. Oh, and I'm going to start right now. Don't run around catching everybody you know, because believe me, they'll all use these phrases. You do not want to be their worst enemy and go, oh, don't say that. Oh, you shouldn't say that, because guess what? We're going to talk about the word should today. Yeah, we're just gonna change our behaviors, and when they're ready, when they start noticing changes in you, if you're watching these videos, people will start watching changes in you. My channel helps people change. And once you do make those changes, then they'll come to you and say, oh, teach me what you know. Ah, that's the time to pull out these phrases. So again, instead of I am ticked off. Really? I'm feeling sort of ticked off right now. Hear how much that softens. I'm feeling sort of. I'm feeling a little ticked off. I'm feeling kind of exhausted right now. You can still use the word, right? But again, do not tell yourself you are the negative feeling. I am sadness. I am sad right now. Again, it'll take you a while to change it, but I'm feeling kind of sad right now. Oh, I just took a deep breath. That feels so much better in my spirit. Wait a minute, MK, can you say I am happy? If you want to, yeah. I am grateful. I say those all the time. But the things you don't want to connect with, please remind yourself to change. I am to I'm feeling a little. I am feeling. You still see the I am, but just add the word feeling. I am feeling. And again, sort of, kind of, a little will help. All right, the second of the 8 phrases is, I can't seem to, oh, well, there you go. I can't. Close the door, turn the key, throw away the key, you're locked in. You said, I can't. I can't think of any more ideas for how to do this. I can't lose weight. Ooh, I don't even like saying that on a video, but I used to say it all the time. And again, the phrase is simple. You're going to replace it with 2 words this time. I haven't yet. I haven't yet lost the weight, or I'm in the process of losing the weight, or I'm on my way to, or whatever. But again, can't is a phrase you'll never hear from a professional athlete. I can't seem to get my free throws in. Woo! Guarantee you Caitlin Clark never said that phrase. I haven't yet perfected blank. Go for it. The third one is I need to. I need to is telling yourself that you cannot be whole and complete without this. To shift it from I'm choosing to, I'm going to, I get to, oh, I have to run to the grocery. I have to run there. Okay. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to the grocery store. I get to run over to the grocery store. Think of how many people in the world, I know we can't even imagine it, can't get in a car and drive to a grocery store. So personally, I think the I get to go to the grocery store is the most accurate, but do I always use it? No, I usually simply revert to I'm going to the grocery store. But I'm getting better and better at listening for I need to or I have to. Feels like victim language to me. All right, we are on number 4. I'll try. It's interesting. I'm holding a pen. What if that person across from you is holding the pen, you said, okay, try and drop it? It would just confuse them. Do you want me to drop it? I mean, I can drop it if you, do you want me to drop it? No, go ahead and try. What do you mean, try. See, that's what the brain does when we use that word. Try means nothing. It just adds confusion. The brain is very good about doing exactly what we tell it. So simply, instead of saying try to, just say drop the pen. Okay. So how do we shift this one? We can say I will, I am, or I'm doing my best. If you ask somebody to help you move and they say, I'll try and make it, woohoo, don't count on that helper. When they say, yeah, do my best to get there, that's a much stronger phrase, isn't there? Or I'll be there. I will be there is, of course, the best. All right, we're doing great. Here we go. Number 5 of the big change you have to make is he makes me, they make me. A lot of that going on with politics these days. Oh my gosh, talk about giving your power away. They make you do that? It's really not true, is it? I remember I was giving a talk, I'm trying to think, at a business one time, and the fire alarm went off. So there we were for 20 minutes outside, and we came in, it was an all-day seminar. And we came in, and I said, what'd you talk about? And one person said, oh, I met a new coworker I'd never met before. Another person said, oh my gosh, and it was such a beautiful day. I just was, I was noticing that the flowers are all blooming now in spring. And I said, when the fire alarm went off, how did you feel about the fire alarm? And they all shared that. And then I said, okay, and how did you feel during that 20 minutes? And it was interesting. How many people felt more negatively about being interrupted than positively? This guy raised his hand and he goes, well, I felt negatively because I'm really enjoying your seminar, MK. And I said, well, that's lovely. But you weren't in my seminar. There was nothing you could do except choose to be grateful or not, right? Choose to find the good in it or be frustrated with the interruption. So in every moment, we have a choice. Nothing makes us feel one way or the other. And sure enough, half that group said, oh my gosh, no, that was I kind of needed a break. And the other half said, are we still going to get to cover all the material? I said, I promise, I'll talk faster. We'll get through all the material. So again, he makes me so changes to, changes to I feel a little when they, right? So instead of he makes me so frustrated, I feel a little frustrated when he interrupts me. I feel sort of overwhelmed when she keeps giving me more projects to work on. Oh, okay, good to know. Hear the difference? Instead of they make me and then feeling word, interesting, giving away your power, we simply say, I'm feeling a little blank when that happens. I'm feeling a little blank because that happened. Make sense? Great, great, great. All right. Numero 6. Shoulds. In 8 to Great, we say, don't should on yourself, don't should on other people. Doesn't feel good to be shoulded on, does it? When people tell us what we should do. Well, guess who we should on the most? Us. I should is an easy one to shift to. I could, or again, like before, or I get to. When I say, I should clean the house, I always have a choice, don't I? I could clean the house now, or I could go for my walk and then clean it when I get back. Or I could go to the movie with a friend and clean it tomorrow when I have some time available, right? We always have choices. I should can easily be shifted to I could. I could do that right now. I should lose weight. Oh my gosh, if I had a penny for every time I heard that. I could lose weight if that was my first priority. And sometimes I've worked with folks, I'm the author of 8 to Your Ideal Weight, and sometimes I've worked with people where I go, until this becomes your top priority, we're not getting anywhere. But absolutely I know everyone could get in better shape, right? Everyone could, including the people who are in the best shape. So moving from should to could will soften and will stop draining your energy. Oh, here's an energy drainer. Number 7. This is so hard. You might as well take that mountain and cover it with ice and then say, okay, climb it. When you tell your brain something's hard, it again is going to scramble all the things that would have made it easy. So we get to change this is hard to, it's a simple one. This is new. This is new. Think of a toddler learning to walk. It is kind of hard. But we don't feel badly for that child because we know it's new. Oh, look, her. Oh, I think she's going to take her first step. Oh my God. And we get so excited, even though she falls down 17 times on the way to getting up for that first step. Why? Because it's new. And every single thing that's hard for us is only hard because it's new. Absolutely only hard because this would be a new behavior. To confront that person who's taking advantage of you would be a new behavior. And that's why it's hard. But once you get good at confronting those kinds of behaviors, I recently read something that said, the only million that's hard to earn is the first million. And after that, you understand exactly how it looks, exactly how it feels, and that second, third, and fourth million just come rolling in. Sounds good to me. Again, this is new, this is hard, becomes this is new, which soon becomes this is easy. Last but not least, I promise you that you use this one way too much. Well, only too much if you want your life to change. If you really are ready to make that big change in your life, the 8th self-talk change that I know you're ready to make is moving that was stupid to that was interesting. As a single mom, I did a lot of things, we'll call it wrong, whether I was trying to relight the furnace or I purchased a new water heater, whatever. I made some mistakes along the way. Everyone does. And sometimes, especially if money or my kids' welfare was involved, I'd say, oh, that was stupid. Why didn't I? Really? Do you want to keep telling your brain that it's stupid? Because it's smart enough to get stupider. And it'll do exactly what you tell it. But you have an option. When you make that next mistake, you can catch yourself saying, that was interesting. I remember walking up to get an award once, and I tripped on the stage. I mean, I didn't fall down. I just tripped walking forward. And I laughed, and I said into the microphone, that was interesting. And everybody laughed. They could hear how soft I was about that potentially incredibly embarrassing moment that just wasn't. It just wasn't. That was interesting that I chose not to look down at where I was going and tripped on a cord. Dear ones, We're incredible beings. But we have to acknowledge that to our brains, or we're going to constantly be tripping over cords in our life. We will constantly be tripping over our own obstacles that we're putting in the way with our negative self-talk. So again, I'm going to review those 8 phrases. I am so, negative feeling word, changes to I'm feeling sort of. I'm feeling sort of, feeling word. The second one, I can't seem to, becomes I haven't yet. The third one, I need to, becomes I choose to or I'm going to. The fourth one, I'll try, changes to I will or I'm going to do my best. The fourth one, he makes me so, take that behavior and say, I feel a little blank when this happens. Number 6, I should becomes I could or I get to. Number 7, this is hard becomes this is new. And soon you'll be saying this is easy. And finally, that was stupid to that was interesting. You know that I'm going to ask you to subscribe here. Yes, because it really, really helps us get this word out when you subscribe. And thank you to all of you who have. I can remind you that our book is on Amazon, that we, myself and my 4,000 life coaches are available to give talks around the world. And if you'd like to become an 8 to Great life coach, just email us at mk@8togreat. And it's been wonderful. Until next time, here we grow.